The image of the naked corpse contains wounds which are consistent with those described in the gospel accounts of Jesus' crucifixion. The shroud contains puncture wounds on the scalp, which of course would be consistent with the crown of thorns. A wound in the anatomical right side is the exact width of a first-century Roman lance. The shroud contains wounds on the wrists and feet consistent with nails. It contains abrasion marks on the shoulders consistent with having carried a heavy object. It shows over 100 scourge marks on the torso and legs, which match those made by a Roman flagrum or whip. Imprints of coins on the eye areas, one of which was minted by Pontius Pilate between 29 and 33 AD, contains a rare misspelling, which was unknown to numismatists until the image showed up on the anatomical right eye of the shroud. The anatomical left eye of the shroud has the imprint of a Julia lepton, which was minted only in 29 AD in honor of Caesar's mother. The presence on the shroud, and particularly on the bloody foot area, of a rare type limestone known as travertine aragonite, which is found in a small radius in and around Jerusalem, prove that the shroud has at some point been in Jerusalem. The blood areas on the shroud are real human blood and contain hemoglobin and give a positive test for serum albumin. There is no image under the blood stains, however, which indicates the blood was on the shroud before the image, which is as it should be. The image is a negative-like image which becomes a positive image when photographed. The image is only on the very crowns of the fibrils with a 3% contrast, almost the limit of visibility. The image on the shroud has no directionality, capillarity, brushstrokes, or pigment. Additionally, there are no shadows or outlines on the shroud. Images of fingers, but not the thumbs, are visible on the shroud. An artist or forger would have had to know that putting nails through the wrist damaged the median nerves, which caused the thumbs to involuntarily reflex toward the palms, thus no thumb images on the cloth. Also, putting nails through the wrist instead of the palms is contrary to both Christian art and tradition. Nails through the palms would not have supported the weight of the body.
In 1991, we applied a different method of image analysis called photorelief to the shroud photographs, superimposing the positive and negative images of the arms and hands. Moving the two images slightly out of line produces a striking 3D image, which shows the underlying skeletal structures with remarkable X-ray-like image. Using this three-dimensional image, and we are comparing this with the X-ray of a specimen that was prepared by the surgeon Dr. Pierre Barbet on an amputated arm. As we use our polarized image overlay technique, we can see on the shroud the images of the bones in the palm of the hand. We can actually see the individual wrist bones here on the shroud, and we can see the place where the nail went through the wrist visible on the shroud.
Photographs of the shroud are unique in science and in art in having three-dimensional distance information encoded into them when subjected to a VP8 image analyzer, which is used to study photographs from outer space. No other known photographs have such distance information encoded into them or three-dimensional qualities. After thousands of hours of scientific testing, the Stirrup team, which included some of the premier scientists in the world, concluded that the image on the shroud is that of a real human man who was scourged and crucified. It is not the product of an artist. Also, the peer-reviewed work of Ray Rogers, a respected chemist formerly with Los Alamos National Laboratory, strongly suggests that the C14 date of the shroud is inaccurate because the tested shroud sample was taken from a patched and rewoven area of the shroud.